Hi, my name is Cameron, and I'm a Viktor main in League of Legends. I've been 2 years sober, but I've relapsed. Ugh, which sucks, but I want to talk about something truly important to me, and that is Viktor League of Legends character, the Machine Herald. At first, I played the character in 2013 after he had one of the coolest skins that made me look at him. Creator Viktor, it was this really cool, guy, this really cool dictator-looking guy that had a fucking big old fist and red and black motifs and a giant fucking laser cannon, which I thought was cooler than the hand. And that's what got me initially into the character. And then I delved deeper into his lore, and his splash art at the time, from his initial splash art, was like, whatever. He looked like a big goofy guy, and I can come from a place where I understand on the outside looking in, without knowing and loving Viktor and getting to know him, that he was kind of a weird kooky guy that you're like, I don't know what to do. And the first time that you play him, you're like, what the fuck is his E? And then other champions have come out since then, like Rumble and stuff, that had similar, things, and there was a skill gap, and he got changed. His first iteration of the Hex Core was kind of hard to understand, and now I think Viktor has been in a great place for some time, despite him, having some disconnects to his original lore, things getting changed, still kind of wanting to do hive mind things as the Glorious Evolution, which, me and a bunch of other Viktor people that love the lore were like, that's kind of far-fetched, but I don't mind him being some kind of villain because I like villains, or at least faux villain, thinking he wants to help people. But making Arcane canon is not cool. It's not right. You're completely deleting this character that has gone through so many iterations, and it seems you don't care about him that much as you do Jace, because Jace has been relatively untouched. Jace and Viktor have been sort of ham-fisted together for the longest time, and I don't know, I think with Arcane, which is an incredible show, season 2 kind of went, but it's still all in all one of the best animated TV series of all time, and one of the best shows like ever. Like it's rated highly because it's that good. They put a lot of work and effort into it. But I wish that you would have created a different character instead of turning Viktor into what he is now. Because tomorrow, December 11th, I believe, at least that's what I've heard, that Viktor's visual game update is going to happen, and this is more like a complete rework of the character, and I want, as well as others, a revert, and I'd settle for at least a classic Viktor skin. It's going to suck because all of his other skins looked cool, and now I don't feel any association to this character anymore. Like, sure, I've been off the game and I probably won't play it anymore, especially after you change him, because he was my favorite character. I've had other characters that I enjoy, but the philosophy of the game has not been where I had enjoyed it. Like, since the release of VGU, I feel like you're catering to certain markets. And obviously the end goal for you guys, for Riot Games, is to make money. It's a company. They want to do for profit, but that the creativity has been lost because of business in recent years. And maybe that's always been the case, or it's just, becoming more prevalent now. Skins is your biggest moneymaker. You're a free-to-play thing, but skins have been too expensive and don't look that great. I mean, it's just a bunch of particle effects that we're paying for, and it's kind of silly. And the alternate universes for these skins have been uninspired. I mean, Blood Moon at first was really cool, and it took them, 5 years to give Zed one finally? Like, Pyke got one before Zed, I'm pretty sure. Like, it's been pretty ridiculous. Like, I was almost expected to come back and see Viktor to get a Blood Moon skin. The High Noon is kind of weird concept. Like, sure, you have to pull some strings and stuff, but anyways, I digress. Like, removing Viktor as he is, but keeping the same kit, it feels so disconnected, and everyone's like, what is this? And his skins don't look as good. I mean, you can update those skins, but it just won't make any sense. Like, if you would have updated him to look more like how he has been in recent art for League of Legends, and especially Legends of Runeterra, like, he's thinner, he's got a frailer form, and has enhanced himself with technology, I'd be okay with that. Like, that's cool. I love the way that he looks in Legends of Runeterra, and I love the expansion of the lore in Legends of Runeterra. Him having these diverse robotic people, cyborg people and stuff that he can, that, you know, want to do his bidding one way or another, or believe in his cause, or are fanatical about his cause. Like the Echo comic had, I think, a really good characterization of Viktor, aside, of course, from like, wow, look at everybody going in one-on-one, piling themselves on this fire, having no care for their own physical form. This is glorious evolution. I feel like you lose a lot of that. Like the Zed comic lost a lot of that coolness. A lot of things have just been fundamentally changing, and for no reason at all. You know, like, I mean, it goes beyond Viktor for sure, but at least to keep things on track, because I've been very critical of Riot Games and how they've handled their lore for a long, long time. Like, they've retconned and retconned and retconned because they think of a new character and they're like, well, we want this to fit, instead of how do we make something like this fit? Because I think they're just trying to make something playing games. And I wish things were back to 2011 where there was like summoners, or at least like this League of Legends, like they were legends from different timelines, because it seems like everybody lives at the same time. Some people are thousands of years old and in this, and some people are literal fucking kids like Annie that are joining in. I don't know. I wish it was literally like League of Legends. They're picking them up and dropping them from different timelines. Like, you just get to play these people and they're legends in time in the world of Runeterra. That seems cool. I don't know why nobody thought of that, because that gives you so much more freedom and all you're working with is a timeline. But even so, any other reworks that have happened felt like, I can't speak too much to Skarner. Skarner's also kind of gone through this, but at least their character at its core is the same thing, a crystalline scorpion. Aatrox was the same thing, a Darken warrior that still had, you know, I mean, I've been so far removed that I forget everything, but all of the reworks that have happened have at least kept the heart and soul of the character alive. Sure, Aatrox's old gameplay versus his new gameplay, he turned more into Riven. It was like, okay, he's just bouncing around and way more OP. I do like the blood drain aspect from his old kit, but I still feel like all in all, lore-wise, they're the same character. Gameplay, you want to modernize the gameplay, I understand, because there's certain philosophy there. Dopamine, everybody has a dash, it makes people have more fun, high skill, rewarding for mastering certain characters. Like, I understand the psychology of it, but it's like, I don't understand how you can completely change this character, especially like the Machine Herald, and then do a full 180 in the show, and having Arcane initially not being canon, and now you're like, we're gonna go full force in this, but you know, everybody's main skins, we're not updating everyone else just to be Arcane, even though you did make some updates with like Caitlyn and some updates with some of the other characters, but they have skins. They literally just have Arcane skins. Viktor's getting an Arcane skin, and you're completely taking away his character. Like, this is a character that many people love, and while there have been disagreements on his lore, still love to play this character or love this character because he was the Machine Herald. He fit this Doctor Doom, Deus Ex Machina, like, niche that was really cool, that fit its own pocket of Runeterra. Like, you're adding chem tech and hex tech on both sides for Piltover and Zon, and that's unique for each of them, because one is like unchecked, well, not necessarily unchecked capitalism, but whatever, you know, that's kind of what you were presenting in the show. Like Arcane with the Chem Barons, they're like, we have all this shit, we're doing dirty deeds, and they're done dirt cheap. And then you have Piltover that has bureaucracy, but they still have a lot of funding, but only to the rich people, so the poor people might even just find their way down to Zon, where they're like, well, this is the only place I can get funded. And some Zonites are brought up, like Viktor was in the lore, which I think was pretty cool, except for the fact that you made Petition like an actually cool figure. It's like Arcane was like the biggest fuck you to anybody that has loved Viktor. To anybody that has loved Viktor as much as me, or, you know, like, he's such a cool character. He's one of the only characters that I really like related to in such a weird way. Like, so much so that I don't know. If there was one character that I wanted to cosplay, it would be him. There's been many writings that I've done as that character, a solo movie that I've been working on that now I've just like dropped, because it's like, what? I can make a fan film, but to what end? Everyone's gonna be like, who the fuck is this guy? Because all the fucking Gen Zers and Zoomers and beyond, or anybody else that has stopped playing these new players, and you'll be like, that's the Viktor that I like. This is the good Viktor. All the Arcane fans are like, you guys are stupid. This is better. How is it better? Make a different character. Just make a different fucking character. They're not the same. They're not the same at all. The only thing that's the same is that one came from Zon. They're both kind of scientists, but you've taken away everything that made the Glorious Evolution Viktor's idea, paired it with Jace. Like, Viktor is a tragic character in Arcane, and he has nothing for himself. He's like, I believe in your hex tech dream. And he's like, yeah, I'm totally fine with that, but like, Viktor should have been able to diverge from that and want more things. Like, he wanted to make tools, and then maybe Jace got caught under Mel's thing or something, or maybe Ambessa does coerce him into making Hextech weaponry without him really knowing, and then that is how they branch and diverge out, you know? Like, because Viktor's new third arm, it doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense. His third arm rarely made some sense sometimes, but it was cool. It's like an upgrade, you know? You get to hold a clipboard or something else with it. Like, he had his own reasons for having the third arm, but now him being this eldritch arcane monstrosity, the third arm doesn't make any sense. Like, it's just frustrating for me, and I want to say thousands of other players, but I don't know what the Viktor play rate is, are just going to be so upset that one of our favorite characters, while the gameplay might not change that much, the overall look and feel and voice lines and everything that made this character so fun for us is being taken away. And we don't like that, and we hope and pray that you could see it in your hearts that maybe you made a mistake. I know that you sunk a lot of money and resources into making Arcane, and now want to make this character popular and have something that, you know, brings that Arcane fan base in to get the player rate up so you can sell more skins, but it's just not right. You should have made a new character. So I want to revert, and I guess make a concession for a classic Viktor skin. And I know you won't do anything because you've never shown that you've cared for what the fans say. You've taken some feedback before. Ultimately, you're going to do what you're going to do. So Riot Games, please consider, and if not, go fuck